Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Midlife Crisis with your hosts,
Ashley
and Tracy. Pull up a chair for your seat at the table as we talk about chin hair in women and how to remove it safely, according to experts. So this is funny, maybe not so funny, because I feel like I've been living this for the last couple months, and I was finally tired of it. So I called the place where I had my laser hair removal years ago, and occasionally we'll have to go back for maintenance throughout the years. But my chin hairs and my mustache is just out of control. I went from plucking a hair to now shaving and feeling like I have razor stubble. But fortunately, because I had gone through laser hair removal years ago, I'm kind of grandfathered in. So I can go back in for maintenance treatments, and it's $19 a month. Okay. And it just depends. You can go, you're not committed to any length of time. Mm-hmm. You can just go for however long you need to go. I think I was just trying to recall, and I think this is my third time coming back for maintenance.
Okay. So how long did the initial treatment take?
The initial laser hair removal treatment took about a year and a half.
Okay.
So you go about every 6 weeks.
Yeah. So I did it for a short time. Well, I did it for about a year. I won some drawing and got this, free treatment. And I think at some point, it only allowed me like so many visits or something like that. At some point, I did have to pay a little bit of money. And I did my underarms and my bikini line. And, I've talked to a lot of people who it's been very effective for. Yes. Unfortunately for me, it didn't really stick. And they warned me going in.
Because you're very blonde.
Yes. My hair follicles are very light. Right. And so the laser really has a hard time finding them.
Yes.
And so after a year, I wasn't really showing any progress, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to stop. But I've heard it works for a lot of people.
Right.
If you are, though, a blonde or lighter hair color, it might not work. So just, and I think they all warn you of that going into it. They do. There's a lot of places you can get this done that cater specifically to laser hair removal. Or I know a lot of dermatologist offices will do it. So there's a lot of places you can go. Always, obviously, talk to your doctor before you do it. Just let them know what you're thinking of doing. And this is crazy because you're kind of, are you totally out of menopause?
Every time I think I am. So for the last month or two, I think I've told you that I've been having, we'll just call them heat flashes because I don't know how else to, describe it or contribute it to, other than it's, 120 degrees outside in the desert here. But other than that, I don't go outside. I'm in the air conditioned. So, and I can always tell because my head just gets so hot. Like I feel if I touch my hair, it's just on fire. And then, the sweat starts pouring, but that's been happening for the last month or two. Okay. So I thought I had already passed through everything. The heat flashes themselves initially seemed to be more mild than I've been experiencing recently. So it was just maybe my head, right? But the last month or two, it's been my whole body. So it's just absolutely gross feeling. I would take several cold showers a day.
I would wake up in the middle of the night and my sheets are just soaked.
Yes. I would get up from my desk to go to the restroom and my underwear and my clothing is just soaking wet. So I would jump in a cold shower and change again. But I was doing this a couple times a day for like the last 60 days.
And thank goodness you work from home.
Yes, thank goodness I work from home. And nobody can't see me sweat. Right. But on top of that, so to answer your question, I thought I was through with it. From what I hear, it goes on to infinity.
Right. That's not comforting.
I know. But I don't know. Like I said, I had the more mild symptoms before, and then they kind of dissipated, and I thought, you're done.
Right.
And so I'm not sure what's been happening lately. But in addition to that, My facial hair has been, it's funny. We were talking about this earlier because we're getting ready to hit the pool, but I barely have to shave my legs.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have to shave mine as often as I used to already.
Yeah.
So, and I'm in my late 40s. So I'm already seeing a difference there.
Yeah.
But like
It's
you,
not
I'm
growing
also
there.
seeing a difference in the amount of facial hair that I have. And I personally do dermaplane. And I know some people can't, like you, we've talked about.
Right, because I have broken capillaries on my face.
So it's not recommended for people that have broken capillaries in their skin. So fortunately, I'm able to do it. And I do it, I would say, every about 6 weeks. By the time it's time to get it done, I'm definitely ready. There's definitely a great amount of peach fuzz.
Right.
And it's all over my face.
Right.
It's not, any specific area. It's pretty much all over. And that really has helped a lot. I like it too because it's also kind of like... it gets all the dead skin off, so it's almost...
Yes. I used to have it done, and I did enjoy it. Yeah. It's like a new skin, right?
It's kind of like exfoliating it better. Yeah. So I really like it. But, some people can't do that.
But I wonder if that procedure alone in itself has an effect on more hair growth, right? Because
I've heard different things about that.
Right?
Because they're using a straight edge razor.
Right.
So it's like shaving your face.
Exactly.
And I've heard if you shave it, it's going to grow back thicker and darker.
Right.
But I've also heard, no, that's not true. That is absolutely not true. I don't know. Mine definitely hasn't come in darker at all. It's still very blonde. I think to most people, they can't see it unless the sun's hitting me just right. But
and I don't see anything.
I can feel it. And I definitely notice a difference when just putting moisturizer on my face.
Right.
My skin, it kind of sits on the peach fuzz when it's time to do derma again. After I've done derma, I can feel my skin actually absorbing the moisturizer. Yeah. So it's definitely, something that bothers me and, not necessarily visible to most people. Right. So, there's pros and cons to having lighter hair. I can't do laser treatment.
Right. And, stay with us because we're going to talk about a couple of ways to remove it safely without laser hair. Right. But because I have an appointment on Monday, today is Sunday, we're talking about it today because it's, I don't even know how to describe the feeling, and it's not a good feeling.
I'm sure men could relate.
Maybe they could, but
it's especially just, men that have to shave it every day.
Well, that's true.
Twice a day,
that's
some morning
true.
and night.
Yeah, but scruff on a man is
very different,
right? It's rugged, it's sexy, but know, and sometimes for me, when you're like, I can't see it. Every now and then, I would find like this super long hair, super long hair, and it's like, oh my gosh, like nobody said anything. Did anybody see that?
In fact, I can feel it right now. I have one hair that grows on the bottom of my chin, and it's black.
Right.
It's just it's the only one that's dark.
Right.
And then when I can start feeling it, it's like, oh God, where are the tweezers?
Yes. Yes. And I've gone beyond tweezers. I haven't had any maintenance done since before COVID. So I finally, blocked out some time and made the call. So I'm back in for Monday and I'm super excited. I think it just makes me feel bad. I just feel almost nauseous.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I touch my chin, and if I shave because there's just so many, it's out of control. But it feels like a soft beard and it's almost nauseating to myself.
I can't see anything.
Thank you. Well, because I shaved.
Oh, okay.
I shaved because I'm going for laser hair and you have to shave right before you go. But
so there's definitely, we know that, based off the information that's out there and, doctors that we've talked to, that it is because of menopause, hormone changes, things like that. There's a lot of other causes for hair that's not just on your face, anywhere on your body that you notice is excessive or not wanted. And there are a lot of different things that could be causing that. So if you're having any other, side effects or any symptoms that, are concerning or maybe not really make sense when it comes to menopause or aging, definitely reach out to your doctor because it could be something a lot more.
Right.
But for the most part, it's caused by hormonal changes.
Yeah. But there are, as you mentioned, there are other causes. So if you're younger and not even, close to that stage,
right.
Or maybe barely in, perimenopause, then definitely talk to your doctor just to make sure, because there are other things that could cause facial hair growth besides aging, which is, I think, where I'm at right now. And also know that if you are taking hormones, when I think one of the first times that I went back for maintenance after the initial laser hair, because that was, far before, perimenopause or menopause for me, is when I started testing out hormones and trying hormones. I mean, it was horrible. I had literally sideburns that I could pull away from my face with my fingers. It was just, I was like, what? Yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So I went back and had the laser hair on my whole face. So basically ear to ear. And it worked. So now I think it's because I'm not doing hormones anymore, but I'm aging. So I think it's just the aging. And like I said, it's not coming out my legs anymore. It's coming out my face. But if you're taking hormones and you're wondering what's happening, that is a definite direct correlation to hair growth. So there's a lot of different ways. Laser hair, as Ash mentioned, it isn't for everyone, and not even if you're open to it, but even if you're able to
it can be painful.
Benefit from it.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah. I
That's
didn't
for
think
sure.
it was all that painful.
I think
don't know. Maybe I have a high
definitely
tolerance.
with certain areas that it would hit. And it. I guess the best way to describe it is like a really intense feeling of, have you ever had someone hold like a rubber band against your skin and like flick it?
Oh, right.
And it hits your skin.
Right.
But that times 10.
Right.
It was just kind of, and it's quick.
Right.
But some spots were really painful for me.
I think depending on the areas and the sensitivity, again, I'm going for the face right now. Maybe my eyes will tear up. We'll see.
Right. See, I did my underarms and my bikini line. So there were some areas around my bikini line. It wasn't too bad, but mostly under my arms, because that's skin never sees the sun really. Like it's pretty sensitive.
It's
under
very
there.
sensitive.
And that's where I experienced most of the pain.
Yeah. And bikini, I did
have
bikini
tattoos,
too.
So it's not, I'm not trying to tell you guys I'm a baby. Like I can handle pain.
Right. That's true. So you would know. I've heard that tattoos are like a razor cutting you. And I'm thinking, why would anybody want to do that?
Oh, it's so worth it. Addicting.
Right. But how to remove hair, chin hair? Laser hair removal is one way. The place I go to is called Simplicity Laser Hair Removal. It's not all across the country. It's sporadic in a couple states, but I know that there are a lot of places out there. So, Google something in your area if you're interested. Prices have definitely went up since I've done it. Yeah. But I highly recommend it. If you have darker hair. So my hair is now blonde, but it's bleach blonde. I am of the Italian German descent, so I have dark hair, thick hair coming onto my body, not necessarily on my head, but on through my body. So it works well for me, and I'm excited about it to get rid of that. But there are other ways. There's creams. There's all kinds of things.
Waxing. A lot of people do waxes.
Have you tried waxing?
I have.
On your face?
Yeah, it really seemed to work for a little while when I was younger, but then as I got older, you know how the skin around your eye socket gets pretty thin? And the last couple of times that I did wax, the wax actually took off some of my skin. And so I had, and it looked almost like a scrape, when it was healing. But it was just enough skin to actually be red and get a little bit of a scab. And that happened the last couple of times. And I just stopped.
You haven't,
And it was nothing to do with the people doing it. I think they did a great job. I was going to a European wax center, which is great.
Right.
Had been going to the same girl for a long time. Products weren't changed. Nothing happened. I think it was just
your
me
skin.
aging.
Yeah, your skin changes.
And so for me, it just wasn't worth, obviously I didn't want to get scarring or anything like that.
Right.
So it wasn't worth continuing that. So I just decided to seek other options.
I had never done, before my my laser hair treatments, I had done a little bit of, a couple times I did waxing, But and that's it, but never on my face. No, I was always afraid of my face, and I would never shave it. I've again with that, having that Italian, in my background, and just Eastern Europe, I have that I have a mustache. It's like I could compete with men. I have such a mustache.
Aww.
But I was always afraid to shave it because the old wives are like, it's gonna grow back more. But but now I am shaving it again. It's like, oh, that's just so gross. But there are other ways. Revlon has a hair removal tweezer that you can get at Amazon or Walmart or Target that works really well. So if you're just having that one pesky hair that keeps coming back,
those are great tweezers. They grab really well and hang on to it, because if you get cheap ones, they'll just slide, the hair will slide right through it and not even grab it.
And for those of you who perhaps don't want to do laser hair and have to shave your face, there's actually a finishing touch flawless rose gold electric face razor with an LED light.
These are pretty cool. I've seen these.
Have you seen it? It looks like about the size of a lipstick.
Yeah, so they're really small, and the tip of it looks, the men's razors that have like the 3 flat heads that look kind of like coils? It's kind of like that. It's just one, and you rub it across your face, and it does. It's like, I would sometimes in between derma use it. I do it more regularly now, because when I was younger, I didn't have to do it as often, and I would just do my own touch-ups. But, they do work pretty well. Again, derma is with a straight edge razor. It's actually pulling your hair from the roots and also getting, dead skin off your face. So it lasts longer. Using these at home remedies probably won't give you that amount of time in between treatments, but it can, if you don't have a lot, or you just need to do something in between treatments, it does work well.
But the funny thing is when I have traveled abroad, I've looked for spas, and unless you're in a resort that offers them, if you go on the street, I think people think that, the different kind of massage parlor you're looking for. But I've had a difficult time with translation trying to find, a masseuse or, to get a facial when I'm traveling, unless it's within the hotel and resort. So maybe I'm thinking some of our global listeners might not have easy access to a spa, because we have spas almost on every corner.
Oh gosh, Arizona's full of them.
Yeah. Or US, right? Like we are, we indulge in that kind of stuff. And, but I just think it's funny when I've traveled that it's like, they look at me like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But it's at $15 for this, electric face razor at Walmart. And, it's good. It's also portable, right? So if you're traveling.
Yeah. A lot of them, I think some might be battery operated, but most of them I think are just rechargeable. They have a cord.
Amazing. So, amazing. And there's also a Rose Skin Company IPL hair removal handset.
Oh, that looks cool.
So, and that's available at roseskin.com. It's a little more spendy at $169. I might try the $15 one at Walmart. And just to get a pulse if that's something that works for me.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Before I spend that kind of money, because I honestly think $169 is a little expensive.
Yeah.
But these items are also found on womenshealthmagazine.com. So, and that link will be in our description at the bottom of the podcast for you guys for easy reference. And then there's also, do you remember Nair?
Nair. Oh my gosh.
That is crazy that it's still out there. Nair facial hair removal cream for women. I love it. I liked it back then. It was the thing. The smell was atrocious.
I've heard that. I've never tried
No,
Nair,
you've never tried it?
I've heard the smell is terrible. And I've heard some people, I guess if you leave it on too long, it can kind of burn.
Yeah.
But it's just like a cream, right?
Yeah.
Like a cream that you put on.
Or even a foam maybe, but
and then you just wipe it off, I guess?
And it kind of foams up.
Okay.
And then you just shower it off. So it's been around, a product that's been around forever.
Yeah.
And I am curious now to know about the smell. So if you've tried it lately,
they've improved that.
let us know. Yeah. reach out to us on our social channels and let us know if they changed the smell at all or if it's still that. Remember permanence too? Maybe that's what it was. It was like that old perm smell.
Oh my gosh.
There was just something not right about the smell, but I did use it. And of course, Nair, facial hair removal cream is available at Amazon, Walmart, Ulta, and it's reasonably cheap. You can price shop it around $8 at Amazon and $13 at Ulta. Mm-hmm. So not too bad. And check this out. There's also a Chic Hydro Silk Exfoliating Dermaplaning Tool for women.
Yes. So there's a lot of different brands of these. You can find them pretty much anywhere. I've even seen them like at Marshall's. Mm-hmm. So they usually come in at least like a 3-pack. Sometimes I think a 6 or a 9 or a 12-pack. They're just individual. It just looks like a handle and it has a little razor on it. It's pretty small in length, or short in length, I should say. So you can fit it around your nose or around your lips. It's easy to get like those areas. My daughter actually uses these. She's a starving student living on her own and can't afford to do dermaplane very often. Right. So she will do it herself with these. What she has found, I've personally not used them, but she has told me most of them that you get have little ridges in the razor blade. Uh-huh. You can find straight edge ones. Oh. The ridges will actually pull. It'll snag on your hairs sometimes and pull. Ooh. Yeah. And she said it's really painful. She has found some, I can't remember the brand now, but she has found some that are more like a little straight edge. Oh. And she likes those, the comfort of those much better. Right. So if you're looking for something like that and you want to, just so you know, there is a difference between the one with the ridges and the one without.
Good to know.
Again, anytime you use anything like this, razor on your face, you want to be very careful.
Yes.
So
yes, but they're relatively inexpensive, $15 to $20. Yeah. Amazon, Walmart. So check it out. Could save
absolutely
$200 from a spa treatment.
You're essentially doing your own dermaplane.
Exactly. Exactly. And then we have another product that is highly recommended, which is Sally Hansen hair remover wax strip kit. Yes. So do it yourself waxing. Yes. I don't know about that one. $7 at Amazon.
My sister-in-law buys, so hers is not the facial strip kit, it's like a body. Mm-hmm. So the strips are much bigger and she uses it on her legs.
Okay.
And she loves it.
It reminds me of the Friends episode when they go to wax their legs and it's funny. And then the guys do it and they're like, who would do this? And it's just hilarious. I haven't waxed in a long time. And Sally Hansen is a well-known brand that's been around since, the beginning of my time. Yeah. So it's not expensive. I'm sure there's many different brands out there. Mm-hmm. So if waxing is your thing, it's probably honestly better than shaving. Definitely. So if your skin is, not...
Even if it's sensitive, some people, that have sensitive skin have a hard time with shaving. They'll break out. Right. My daughter has some issues. She has eczema. And my sister-in-law, I know uses it because she, like you, has darker, coarser hair. Yeah. And when she waxes her legs, it lasts longer. If she shaves, the next day, it's back. She has to
the razor stubble.
Yeah. So she found that waxing lasts a lot longer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of different ways out there. So if you how are you removing your facial hair? I don't know. Interestingly enough, I should have pulled stats on how many.
Who uses what?
How many women have facial hair? I think that there's a pretty good percentage of us, right, of aging women that suffer from facial hair. It's got to be higher than anything. I would venture to think it's in the 90s.
I would love to look at the age group and what they're using, like who's using waxing more than dermaplane or, we'll follow up with that because we need to follow up on your appointment.
Yes, we do need to follow up on my appointment. My first one is tomorrow and I can't wait. So excited. I think that's good.
Sweet.
Yeah. And that just about wraps it up for today. Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Midlife Crisis. Embrace the change.
Join the conversation on our website at letstalkmidlifecrisis.com or our Facebook or Instagram and YouTube channels. We'd love to hear from you guys.